is my child ADHD or pathologically demand avoidant or both? Okay, so I want to invite you to dork out with me for just a minute to walk you through how to use the scientific process to start to parse what is going on with your child and what will help them, okay? Because this is what we call an empirical question. Often we see behaviors like, for example, my child will not pack their backpack, and maybe they have a diagnosis of ADHD, but the strategies we're using aren't helping. So we're super confused, right? So what we want to do is we want to allow ourselves to first think about the root cause with the scenario of the backpack. Okay, so let's say your child has an ADHD diagnosis and you're using the ADHD frame to support their executive functioning. So what are you doing? You're helping them walk through the steps and make lists of what they need to pack. Maybe you're giving them cues of like, it's time to pack the backpack. Here's what we wrote out as a list so that you know exactly what you have to do. So you're scaffolding their executive functioning, okay? But what if they're completely resisting and it's not helping at all, and in fact, it seems to be making things worse? What we might be seeing here is that we might develop a hypothesis, first step in the scientific process from observation. Oh, maybe it's not the executive functioning associated with ADHD that is making this not accessible for my child. What if we experiment with a different hypothesis? What if the root cause is the perception of threat because I'm putting myself above them with these ideas and encouraging them to do it, and they're perceiving a loss of autonomy, and that's actually making them avoid and resist packing the backpack more. Okay, so that's our new hypothesis. This would be a PDA root cause hypothesis. And then what we can do is we can experiment of like, okay, this executive functioning support isn't helping. So let's experiment consistently for 2 weeks with a different type of root cause accommodation. Let's experiment with things that will support autonomy and the perception of equality. Okay, so for a PDA kid, this might mean initially lowering demands and doing it for them, modeling for them, right? Because our logic is different in our hypothesis. We're not trying to teach them the skill. We're assuming their executive functioning is okay, but they need a different type of accommodation to bring their nervous system down around packing the backpack. And so we accommodate, right? And then what we want to do is we want to observe the data. Is their nervous system activation coming down? Are the meltdowns reducing? We can also look at their connection with us. Are we getting in less fights? Are their basic needs improving? By addressing a different root cause. Maybe we're using declarative language. Maybe we're signaling safety around the backpack as we pack it, like making sure that the tone of our voice is gentle. We're lowering the demand of the backpack. We're saying, I remember it's Valentine's Day week. I can put your Valentine in there for your friends, right? So we're using declarative language, we're signaling safety with our face, we're lowering the demand of the backpack, and then we observe how do things shift, okay? And then we can start to infer, right? And it's very possible that both the survival drive for autonomy of PDA and executive functioning are going on, but often we have to bring the nervous system activation down first before we can access strategies like executive functioning scaffolding, because we don't have the trust and they don't have the felt safety in their body to not reject these very wonderful tools that are addressing the executive functioning aspect of why it's hard to pack a backpack.